We will be discussing the whole syllabus of half-yearly exam today. I'll be asking you a few questions and I expect all of you to answer. Please be attentive and interactive. The chapters which will be asked in half-yearly exam are chapter 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So open your books to chapter number 1. In this chapter, we are discussing about the various number systems, the decimal number system, the binary number system, then octal and hexadecimal number systems. Also, there are many conversions which I have already discussed with you. Also, there is binary arithmetic. All this has to be done properly. If you have any doubts in this chapter, you can ask me. Alina, can you tell me what is the base of decimal number system?
Ma'am, 10.
Correct. Alisha, what is the base of octal number system? Alisha, are you there? Alisha, you cannot hear me?
Ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am.
Octal. Octal. Alisha, what is the base of octal? Yes? I cannot hear you, Alisha. Okay. I think your microphone is not working properly. Manya, you tell me.
Ma'am, 8.
Ma'am, 8.
Correct. What is the base of hexadecimal? Niharika is going to tell. Niharika.
Ma'am, 16.
Niharika, one more question from you. How do we convert a number from a decimal number system to binary? Yes, Niharika, this is from you again. Same question. How do we convert a number from decimal number system into binary number system? Okay, Mandvi will tell the answer.
Ma'am, we will divide by 2.
Exactly. And to convert from decimal to octal, we divide by 8. To convert from decimal to hexa, we divide by 16. Very good. Very good. Now, Kali will tell the next answer. This was very simple. Now, how do we convert from binary to octal? Kali, tell me. How do we convert from binary to octal?
Ma'am, we write the binary number in the octal equivalent, like ma'am 0, 0, 0 is equal to 0. We make groups of 3 number.
Yes, you say this in the beginning that we make groups of 3 starting from the rightmost binary digit. Then we convert those 3, the groups of 3 into its equivalent octal and write them in order. Okay. Komal, how do we convert a binary number into its equivalent hexadecimal number?
Ma'am, we make the 4 bits group and convert into its equivalent hexadecimal number.
Yes, correct. We make groups of 4 bits. Okay. Second chapter, it will not be asked. We come to the third chapter now. Karnika is going to tell me what is a proposition. Karnika, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is a proposition?
Ma'am, it is a sentence which from which a conclusion can be drawn in terms of true and false.
True or false, either of them. Okay, correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Now there are two types of proposition, simple proposition and compound proposition. Also, there are different terms related with connectives, conjunction, disjunction. Please go through them nicely. They are symbols as well, and their definitions too. Negation, then there is implication, equivalence. All these terms have to be learned by heart. Also, there is a table on page. The pages are different. Logical connectives at a glance, where the connective is written, then the symbol, and then the name. Have you found this table in your book? Just above
Yes,
converse,
ma'am.
inverse, and contrapositive. Learn this table by heart. The symbols you should know, and the name of the connective also. Okay. Then the definitions of these converse, inverse, contrapositive, tautology, contradiction. I hope there is no doubt till here. Any doubts still here, children? Have you started revising? Yes, Dhara, you want to ask something? You may ask.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please explain proposition expression for a given situation using the disjunction of conjunction terms.
Conjunction means and disjunction means or. Okay, whenever two expressions are to be and means the answer will become true. The answer will come true only and only if all the inputs are true. Otherwise, it will come false. This is conjunction. And in disjunction, the answer will be true if any one of the inputs is true. This is disjunction. We have done this in logic gates also, AND gate, OR gate. Here in proposition, the terms are conjunction and disjunction. There in gates, the terms are and OR. This is the difference. The truth tables are same, the meaning is same, just the terms are different. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other doubts to anyone? Tautology, contradiction. Tautology क्या होता है? When all the inputs are true, when all the outputs are true. किसी भी expression में अगर सारे outputs true होते हैं, that expression will be called as that proposition will be called as a tautology. And when all the outputs are zero, that is all are false, then it is called as a contradiction. You must be knowing how to draw truth tables. Now, if it is asked to draw a truth table Google form पे बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है. So you will be making it on a paper and then uploading on the Google form. There will be 16 questions in all. I have made the paper. There will be 16 questions in all, out of which few will be objective type, few will be short answer type to be written there itself in the Google form. And there will be only 3 questions of programming and Boolean of this part, which you will be doing on separate sheets of paper. So before the exam, take 3 separate sheets of paper, A4 size. You understood? What do you mean by A4 size? What do I mean by A4 size? It means a register page. एक रजिस्टर के 3 पेजेस निकाल कर रखना. तीनों के ऊपर you write your name, class, section and roll numbers separately. The first question जिसमें add file करना होगा, आपको upload करना होगा, अलग पेज पे लिखेंगे आप. Second question अलग पेज पे लिखेंगे and third question अलग पेज पे लिखेंगे. And उन तीनों questions को upload करेंगे Google form में. Don't tell me that you are not able to upload, because I have given you practice for this also. I've taken a test and you all know how to upload a file in Google Forms. अगर किसी को नहीं आता है तो मुझसे आज पूछ लो. After this, we'll be meeting only on the exam day. Anybody has doubts? Class 11. Nobody is asking now. Don't tell me that day. मैम अपलोड नहीं हो रहा है. अगर किसी का फोन पुराना है, किसी को प्रॉब्लम हो रही है गूगल फॉर्म खुलने में या कुछ, अपडेट करो अपने सारे एप्स. Sit at a place where there is proper connection. Don't give me this reason कि मैम अपलोड नहीं हो रहा है. I am not responsible for that. You have to upload the files. There will be 3 questions. I'm telling you clearly. 3 questions जिसमें आपको अपलोडिंग करना पड़ेगा. Rest of the questions you have to do in Google Forms itself. Is it clear?
Ma'am, if there is only one page, then also I have to make a PDF file.
नहीं, PDF फाइल नहीं होगा, उसका इमेज आप भेजेंगे. PDF फाइल की क्या जरूरत है? If there are 2 pages,
Thank you, ma'am.
if there are 2 pages, suppose प्रोग्राम लंबा है, अगर 2 पेजेस में आ रहा है, तो आप किसी कैम स्कैनर के थ्रू या अडोब स्कैनर के थ्रू या टैप स्कैनर के थ्रू आप उसका फोटो क्लिक करिए तो ऑटोमेटिकली पीडीएफ में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, वहीं से हो जाता है ना, और फिर उसको अपलोड कर दीजिए। एक पेज से ज्यादा का पिक्चर नहीं भेजी जा सकती गूगल फॉर्म पर। अगर एक पेज से ज्यादा का प्रोग्राम है देन आपको पीडीएफ बनाकर भेजना होगा। ये सब चीजें हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं लास्ट टाइम व्हेन आई हैड टेकन द टेस्ट। और किसी को कुछ इसमें डाउट हो तो अभी पूछ लो। There are only 20 participants today, half the class is absent. And they will be the ones to create problem. Any doubts still here, Manasvi? Kusha? Have you all been able to upload the file?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So we come to the next part of the chapter, logic gates. Here we have discussed about binary valued quantities. Before this, you should know who developed Boolean algebra and in which year. George Boole developed a link between mathematics and logic in the year 1854. He developed symbolic logic, which became useful to solve logical problems in mathematics known as Boolean algebra. It is also called as switching algebra. Now, what is a truth table? It is a tabular structure which shows the input values used and output produced through any logical process. Then, binary valued quantities are represented in the terms of true or false. Why are these quantities called as binary valued? Because they can have only two values, either true or false. True is referred to as 1 and false is referred to as 0. What is a Boolean variable? A Boolean variable is also termed as a binary valued variable because it can have only two values. Now the various logical operators, logical not, or, and, their symbols, all these should be by heart. Then the truth tables, how to draw a truth table. Then Boolean postulates. I hope you all must be aware that these Boolean postulates and laws are very important. They are a part of class 12th syllabus also. So learn them by heart. If it is asked that you have to write the involution law, you just need to write a bar whole bar equals to a. You need not write the whole sentence. सिर्फ आप वो लिखिए a bar का whole bar equals to a और फिर verification दीजिए उसका truth table के थ्रू. That's all. It is not necessary to write the statement in words. Then the distributive law, absorption law, then the De Morgan's theorem. अगर De Morgan's theorem पूछी जाती है तो आपको दोनों theorem लिखनी है. Clear? Who developed the De Morgan's theorem? Augustine De Morgan, a great mathematician, developed the few theorems. Is it clear, children? Then the principle of duality. What is the principle of duality? The principle of duality states that another Boolean expression can be obtained. इसमें लिखना पड़ेगा. Another Boolean expression can be obtained by replacing each plus sign with a dot and each dot sign with a plus, each one with a 0 and each 0 with a 1. The resultant expression is called the dual expression. और फिर इसमें दो examples दे देना. A plus 0 equals to A का dual क्या होगा? A dot 1 equals to A. Like this, as given in the book. Any doubts still here? Now, Ash Rani Khan, tell me what is the distributive law? Are you there, Ash Rani Khan? Okay, Nimisha is going to tell me. What is the distributive law? It seems that nobody is sitting here. You just log in here and you've gone. Vanshika, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what is the distributive law?
Ma'am, I have to state the law only.
Yes.
Ma'am, distributive law A. Ma'am, A plus B plus C.
I cannot cannot hear you, Vanshika. You write it down in the chat box. You write it down in the chat box. I cannot hear you.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm waiting, Vanshika. Do it fast. Multiplication of 2. You don't have to write like this. Just write the law. That is A dot B plus C equals to A dot B plus A dot C. You have to write like this. Ashrani Khan, don't write like this. Explain नहीं करना है उसे, सिर्फ law लिखना है in terms of Boolean variables. Okay? Yes, like this, what Vanshika has written. A into B plus C equals to A into B plus B into C. And you have to specify the dot operator there. Dot operator is very important. जब मल्टीप्लिकेशन में लिखा जाता है तो डॉट ऑपरेटर का बहुत यूज है इसमें, बिकॉज डॉट ऑपरेटर सिग्निफाइज द एंड थिंग, एंड ऑपरेटर. अगर नहीं लिखोगे तो इट विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ बूलियन एक्सप्रेशन, इट विल बी कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ मैथमेटिकल एक्सप्रेशन रादर. इज इट क्लियर? Who is written conductivity is not good, connectivity को. Ashrani Khan, it is connectivity, it is not conductivity. ये फिजिक्स मत घुसाओ कंप्यूटर में. What are you doing? Vanshika, is it clear? Correct it and write it again. A dot B plus C equals to A dot B plus B dot C plus A dot C. It should be A dot C, not B dot C. A dot B plus C equals to A dot B plus A dot C. It should be like this. It should be like this. Yes, now it is correct. Here also, on the left hand side, it should be A dot B plus C. Book में भी misprint है, book में भी ठीक कर लो. Dot लगाना जरूरी है. Clear to everyone? Now we come to gates. Various gates are, first comes the fundamental gates or the basic gates, NOT gate, OR gate, AND gate. These are the basic gates. Then comes the derived logic gates. The derived logic gates are NOR and NAND. After that comes exclusive OR, exclusive NOR. Now, here we are discussed about the, one more thing we had discussed about here was universal logic gates. What are universal logic gates? The logic gates which are used to realize other logic gates are known as universal logic gates. It is very important. It has been asked several times in the board examinations as well. So you can mark it as important. What are universal logic gates? They are used to realize other logic gates. So they are called as universal logic gates. Or it can be asked, why are NAND and NOR called as universal logic gates? Or it can be asked, what is the definition of universal logic gate? Or it can be asked, give 2 examples of universal logic gates like this. It can be asked in several ways. Is this clear? So we will move further. Now this NAND gate can be used to form other gates like OR gate by using NAND gate, NOR gate by using NAND gate, and so on. So you should know these circuits by heart. If it is asked, you will draw the circuit on a paper and then upload the file. It will be done like this. Then logic diagrams using this. Then comes adders. Adders are also very important part of the chapter. What is an adder? It is a logic circuit that is used to add the binary digits or binary numbers. There are 2 types of adders, half adders and full adders. Half adders are used to add 2 binary digits, whereas full adders are used to add 3 binary digits. Both of them result in a sum and a carry. Whenever it is asked about half adder or full adder, you have to first write the definition. Then you have to tell that both of them contains two outputs, sum and carry. Then you have to draw the truth table and finally the circuit diagram. All this will carry marks separately. So all this have to be specified. सब कुछ बनाना जरूरी है, whether or not it is asked. अगर एक नंबर या दो नंबर में आता है तो नहीं बनाना है. अगर ज्यादा मार्क्स में आता है, then you have to draw the truth table as well as the logic circuit of half adder or full adder or both, whatever is asked. Is it clear? We come to the next chapter now, chapter 4, Introduction to Java Language. Here we discussed about procedure-oriented. Okay, Dhara, I saw your message. Procedure-oriented programming. Then you should know the drawbacks of procedure-oriented programming. Then the characteristics of procedure-oriented programming. And next we discussed about object-oriented programming. Here also you should know the features, the principles, and the principles with the definitions and examples. Data abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism, dynamic binding, everything should be known to you. We have discussed it several times in class 10th as well as class 11th. This is all in this chapter. Next we come to objects and classes. Chapter का नाम ही objects and classes है. पता होना चाहिए क्या होता है object, क्या होता है class. Dhara, tell me what is an object and what is a class.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, class is a ma'am, it is a collection of similar types of objects.
Okay, what is an object?
Ma'am, object is an identity of a class.
You cannot say like this. For an object, it has to be different. दोनों को एक दूसरे के रेफरेंस में तो नहीं बताओगे ना. Manasvi, tell me,
Yes,
what is
ma'am.
an object? Manasvi, are you there? If your mic is not working, you can write down in the chat box and tell me the answer quickly. She has left, it seems. She's not here. Okay, Manya is going to say. I'm asking you to unmute. Manya Agarwal.
Ma'am, an object is an identifiable entity with some characteristics and behavior.
Yes, this is what you have to write. An object is a unique entity or an identifiable entity which contains some characteristics and behavior, or you can write which contains data and functions together. Okay, both are correct. So ऑब्जेक्ट को आप क्लास के रेफरेंस में नहीं बताएंगे, क्लास को बताएंगे ऑब्जेक्ट के रेफरेंस में. दोनों को एक दूसरे के रेफरेंस में बताएंगे तो डेफिनेशंस करेक्ट नहीं होंगी. क्लियर? और कोई डिफरेंस? एक ही डिफरेंस है ऑब्जेक्ट और क्लास में. और कोई डिफरेंस है ऑब्जेक्ट और क्लास में? देखो चैप्टर का लास्ट पेज. क्लास इज अ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ ओनली एन एब्स्ट्रैक्शन. Object is a real and unique entity having some characteristics and behaviors. Class is an object producer, hence called a blueprint for a set of objects. Object is created with the use of new operator. Class is known as object factory. Object is known as instance of a class. 3 points are given as differences. If it is asked in 1 mark, you give 1 difference. If it is asked in 2 marks, you give 2 differences. If it is asked in 3 marks, you give 3 differences. And if it is asked in 4 marks and above, you give all the 3 differences. अगर 3 marks या 3 से ज्यादा marks है तो तीनों difference लिखना है. अगर 2 marks है तो 2 difference. अगर 1 mark है तो 1 difference. Clear? This is how you write the questions of differentiate. Whenever you see the marks, you write according to the marks. You don't have to write the complete story. ऐसा नहीं करना है कि 1 mark का है तो 4 differences करा लो. 1 mark का है तो write either 1 difference or 2 difference. That is sufficient. Not more than that. Try to write to the point answers. Clear? We come to the next chapter, next unit, history and development of Java. पूरा theoretical है, आपको एक बार अच्छे से read करना है. Basic features of Java, compiler, interpreter में differences, then comments. Blue J वाला part you have to leave, and there is not much in this chapter. Next, we can come to concept of data types. So data types, you should know what are tokens, the various types of tokens. Okay, then you should know primitive types, non-primitive types, उनमें difference क्या होता है. Then you should know static initialization, dynamic initialization, rules for naming a variable, all this type conversions, mixed expressions. Also there will be questions on output. Output वाले questions में ये सब आता है. Type conversions भी आते हैं, उसमें postfix and prefix expressions भी होते हैं. All this you should know. Then about wrapper classes. That's all in this chapter. The chapters are too small. Next comes operators and expressions. The types of operators, then conversion of a mathematical expression into Java expression. I had given in the test also. So this you should know. When prefix and postfix wale expressions, output questions usually come from this prefix and postfix. Binary operators, relational operators, logical operators. The various symbols of logical or, logical and, logical NAND, logical NOT. You should know by heart. Then comes the shorthand notations or shorthand operations. A equals to A plus B को कैसे लिख सकते हैं? A plus equals to B. And the last chapter, conditional and looping statements. इसमें you should know all the mathematical functions. Outputs questions can be asked from this also. mat.sqrt का return type क्या होता है? You should know. mat.minimum का return type क्या होता है? You should know. Like this. Questions will be asked like this. Then it can be asked difference between mat.ceil and mat.floor, something like this. Now, as the question chapter suggests, if else और switch case में differences पता होने चाहिए आपको, while, do while and for loops में differences पता होने चाहिए आपको, and programming भी आएगी इस chapter से. I've already told you there will be 2 programs from this chapter. Now, this is the syllabus of half yearly. If you have any doubts in any of the topics, you can ask me. Yes, you can ask me, Dhara. Yes, Dhara, you can ask me. I saw your hand raised.
Ma'am, in principles of object-oriented programming, abstraction, encapsulation, we have to give example even if we are not asked.
No, if it is not asked, then you don't have to give. If it is asked, explain this and give an example only then.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other doubt to anyone? No doubts? Okay, it seems that all of you have studied well for the exam. All the best to all of you. Your exams are starting from 15th, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. 1 hour time it will be given for each exam. They are back to back. There are no gaps in between. So prepare yourselves well. Don't rush in submitting the paper, but please submit the paper in time. If it is given after 9 o'clock, if it is submitted after 9 o'clock, it will not be accepted. Everyone has to submit only one paper. The second paper will not be considered. Okay? So keep all this in mind and keep on practicing the programs and revising your chapters. Thank you, children. All the best for your exams.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.